मैं भी कभी-कभी सोचता हूँ 30 साल हो गए यार, अब छोड़ देना चाहिए।
Can the Khans of Bollywood ever be replaced?
Talking about the future of stardom, Aamir Khan dismissed the idea that the era of superstars is over.
लेकिन हमारी जगह लेगा कौन? सुनाई दे रहा है, बेरा नहीं हूँ मैं।
Have you ever stopped to think about why, for over 30 years, we just haven't been able to look past the three Khans? Ever since I started watching movies, Aamir, Salman and Shah Rukh have basically been the industry. Whether it was Aamir as the lovable Sanjay in Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar, Salman's iconic Prem in Maine Pyar Kiya, or SRK's debut in Deewana, they have stayed at the very top. So when someone as calculated as Aamir Khan comes out and says that the younger generation, specifically Ranbir Kapoor, Ranveer Singh and Vicky Kaushal are actually capable of replacing them, it really makes you stop and wonder. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love what these three are doing right now. They are at the absolute peak of their game, and looking at their upcoming films, it's honestly hard to disagree with Aamir.
You're goddamn right.
But it still feels like a massive if, which is why today I want to really dig into Aamir's endorsement and answer the big question. Can the trio of Ranveer and Vicky actually replace the Khans?
So it's not going to be easy, it's going to be really hard.
But before we talk about the new guys, we have to look at the journey of the Khans themselves. What was it that made them so great? How did they manage to stay this relevant for over 3 decades? Chapter 1, The Foundations. Why the Khans became an institution.
If you had to pick one thing from each of them, what would you pick?
We'll start with Aamir Khan. His work ethic, I've seen him at work. It's a lot of work. His work ethic is just amazing. Shah Rukh Khan for his giving nature. He'll talk to you and he will make you feel like you're the only person in the world. And Salman Khan, there is a mischievous childlike quality in Salman which is not gone away.
Think back to the early 90s when Aamir did Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar. He wasn't just a hero, he was the underdog every student could relate to. When Salman did Maine Pyar Kiya, he became the Prem every mother wanted as a son and every girl wanted as a boyfriend. And SRK, be it Anjam, Bazikar or Dar, he changed the very definition of a hero by making the anti-hero lovable. What people forget is that they survived the most volatile eras of Indian cinema. They saw the end of the angry young man era. They survived the transition from single screen whistles to multiplex popcorn. And they even navigated the rise of the internet. They stayed at the top because they were always consistent. You knew what a Khan film felt like. It was an event, it was a holiday. That kind of branding takes decades to build, and it's the reason why even today a bad Salman Khan film or a struggling SRK face still generates more news than most actors' entire career. Chapter 2, The Almost Successors. Now it's not like the Khans didn't have competition. We saw actors like Ajay Devgan and Sunny Deol carve a niche out for themselves. Saif Ali Khan evolved as an actor, Akshay Kumar was always around year after year, and Govinda was one of the biggest superstars of the 90s. And then came the year 2000, the Hrithik Roshan phenomenon. When Kaho Na Pyar Hai dropped, people literally said the Khans were over.
When his first film was released, Kaho Na Pyar Hai, he very nearly brought me down.
He had the looks, the dancing and the acting. He was the millennium superstar. But even with all that talent, the Khandom didn't break. Why? Because the Khans had already moved from being stars to being sentiments. Ajay, Akshay and Hrithik all became massive superstars, but they occupied different slots. They didn't replace the Khans, they sat alongside them. So when we ask if Ranveer and Vicky can do it, we aren't asking if they can be successful. We're asking if they can do what Hrithik and Akshay couldn't, actually take the center seat. Bringing us to the seismic shift, Aamir Khan's statement about passing of the torch. Why is Aamir Khan making this statement now? Personally, I feel among the Khans, Aamir Khan is a better student of cinema. His business acumen coupled with his knack for picking scripts, whether for acting or for production, is impeccable. And he's also someone who owns up to his mistakes.
I think मेरा काम ठीक नहीं था. I think मैंने परफॉर्मेंस को बहुत ज़्यादा हाई पिच किया था. तो वो कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ कैरेक्टर लोगों के साथ. तो वो फिल्म में हम लोग गलत गए.
He's a perfectionist for a reason and he doesn't speak without data. He's probably looking at the landscape and seeing something we might have missed. Recently, there's been this light-hearted but very real discussion sparked by Pathaan. You remember that post-credit scene? SRK and Salman are sitting on the tracks, bruised and battered, saying,
हमें ही करना पड़ेगा भाई. देश का सवाल है. बच्चों पे नहीं छोड़ सकते.
We have to do it ourselves, can't leave it to the kids. It was a meta joke about the state of Bollywood. But when Aamir was asked about this, his response to that was different. He didn't play along with the joke. He looked at the younger trio and said, they are very capable of taking over from us. He didn't say one day, he said they are already there. When a man who has spent 35 years protecting his spot says someone else is ready for it, you have to listen. He's acknowledging that the industry's evolution is inevitable.
Because if you see Ranbir Kapoor, he's fearless. No matter film flops or hits, like he's Ranbir Kapoor still. Nothing happened to his fan following or his market or,
Before we get into why the younger trio are future torchbearers, please support this channel by hitting that subscribe button if you're enjoying this deep dive. We are building a real community here for movie lovers, and I would love for you to be a part of it. Chapter 4. Let's start with Ranbir Kapoor. He went from the sweet coming-of-age boy to basically breaking the internet with Animal. For a long time, the criticism against Ranbir was that he was too niche. He was the king of urban coming-of-age stories. Wake Up Sid, Tamasha, Rockstar. These are cult classics, but they didn't bring in the Bhai fans to the single screens. Then came Animal. Love it or hate it, Animal was the moment Ranbir Kapoor decided to walk into the Khans territory. It was loud, polarizing, and a massive, undisputed blockbuster.
Papa, सुनाई दे रहा है, बेरा नहीं हूं मैं।
It showed that he could pull in the kind of numbers that usually only a Salman or a SRK could touch. But it's his upcoming slate that really backs up Aamir's claim. He's doing Ramayan, possibly the biggest Indian film ever attempted. He's doing Love and War with Bhansali. He's no longer playing the confused boy. He's playing the icon. That's the transition you need if you're going to sit on the throne.
You also need to realize that if you have the great talent that Ranbir Kapoor has, nothing is gonna stop him. He's a fantastic actor. Yeah. And he's a brilliant actor. And he wears it with ease.
Chapter 5. But if Ranbir is about that intensity and emotion, the next guy is pure unfiltered energy. Ranveer Singh is probably the only one who still carries that 90s flamboyance and is becoming more relatable and normal than before. His recent performance in Dhurandhar, it didn't just do well, it broke records. It actually outperformed the opening weeks of some of the veterans' biggest hits.
अगर तुम लोगों के पटाखे खत्म हो गए तो मैं धमाका शुरू करूं।
Ranveer has this unique ability to be mass and class at the same time. He can do a gully boy and win every award, and then he can do a Simba or a Dhurandhar and make the front row throw coins at the screen. Aamir sees that energy. He sees that Ranveer understands the circus of Bollywood. He isn't afraid of being over the top, and in a country that loves its cinema loud and proud, that makes him a direct successor to the kind of stardom Salman Khan pioneered.
Now there's Dhurandhar 2 coming. I'm sure that's going to be as exciting, if not more, than the first one.
The first one was a trailer. Wait till you see Ranbir.
Chapter 6. Now, while those two are essentially Bollywood royalty, the third name is a bit of a dark horse. Vicky Kaushal didn't have a flashy launch, but right now he's the most trusted actor on this list. Vicky Kaushal is the one I find most fascinating. He didn't have the Kapoor tag and he didn't have the instant hit debut. He started in the indie world with Masan, and look at the trajectory. Uri changed everything. It was the first time we saw this indie actor could lead a commercial juggernaut. And now with Chhaava, he's doing something even the Khans find difficult. He's playing a historical legend with such conviction that you can't see the actor anymore. Aamir specifically praised Vicky's hard work, and you can see why. Vicky represents a new kind of stardom, one that is built on trust. The audience trusts that if Vicky is in it, the film will be good. That reliability was Aamir Khan's hallmark for decades. By mentioning Vicky, Aamir is essentially saying, here is a guy who cares about the craft as much as I do.
अगर आज लगान बनाई जाए तो भुवन के रोल में आप किसे कास्ट करते हैं?
Vicky Kaushal. I think he has that quality of Bhuvan, dignity, strength, inner strength, integrity. He reflects all of that very naturally.
Chapter 7, the box office. Now, while the talent is great, in this industry, money talks. Let's look at the actual numbers, because the box office is starting to tell a very different story about who's really on top right now. For the longest time, the 300 crore club was the Khan-only zone, but that ceiling has shattered. Ranveer's Dhurandhar hitting the 1000 crore mark globally isn't just a win for him, it's a message to the industry. Ranveer's Animal doing close to 900 crores with an A rating is almost unheard of. Vicky leading Chhaava to massive domestic numbers proves that the masses are ready to accept new faces as their heroes. The consistency is what's shifting. We are seeing a period where the younger trio is delivering hits more regularly than the seniors. While the Khans are experimenting with their roles, like SRK in Donkey or Aamir in Lal Singh Chadda, the younger guys are taking the big event films that the Khans used to own. Chapter 8, The Parasocial Problem. Here is where I have to play the devil's advocate. Is it just about the money though, or something else? Stardom is a weird thing. It's a vibe, and that makes me wonder, are we even looking for superstars anymore, or is that whole idea just changing? There is a concept called parasocial relationships. It's a one-sided bond we feel with celebrities. With the Khans, this bond is 35 years deep. People have grown up with them. They have seen SRK go from a boy with no money to the king of Bollywood. They have seen Salman through his ups and downs. Ranveer and Vicky are all great, but they live in the age of Instagram. Even though these three have kept their distance from social media, their fans keep them in the news. Paparazzi are everywhere, trying to capture a glimpse of these actors. And back in the 90s, it was this mystery that kept the Khans' stardom a niche aspect to witness. And this is changing the very definition of stardom. The stardom of the future will be more about talent and accessibility than mystery and madness. Chapter 9, The Age-Appropriate Shift. Even Aamir's family is weighing in on this. His nephew Imran Khan recently said the industry needs to stop casting 50-plus actors in 30-year-old roles. It's a bold thing to say, but it's the truth. We are entering a phase where the Khans are moving into legend status, much like Amitabh Bachchan did in the 2000s. They are moving towards characters with greater depth, age and gravitas, and that leaves a massive vacuum in the hero slot. This is exactly what Aamir is acknowledging. He's saying, we are moving on to a different stage of our careers, and these three guys are the ones who will fill the space we are leaving behind. It's not a defeat, it's a strategic handoff. So to answer my original question, can the trio of Ranbir and Vicky replace the Khans? In terms of acting, yes. All three of them are super versatile. In terms of box office, absolutely. The numbers are already proving it. In terms of cultural icon status, that's where it gets tricky. The Khans represent an era of Indian history, the dream of the common man. Ranveer and Vicky represent a modern, global and more real India. They won't replace the Khans because you don't replace legends, you start a new chapter. Aamir Khan's endorsement isn't just a pat on the back, it's a signal to us, the audience, so start looking at these three not as three kids, but as the new pillars of Bollywood. I grew up watching movies of the Khans of Bollywood, but I am incredibly excited for what Ranveer and Vicky are doing. Let me know your take on this topic in the comments below, and if you're interested in watching more, check out our latest video about Vishal Bharadwaj's Shakespearean trilogy right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.